Hello guys, I'm sure you've heard a phrase that every country may have a mafia, but in Russia, mafia has a country. And that's exactly what we observe, where Putin is the head of this mafia and he solves his problems in a typical for the criminal elites way. And now we will talk more about life and death of the Minister of Transport of the Russian Federation, who was just sacked this morning. And before that, he was the governor of the Kursk region, the one that the Kremlin does not control. So this news that I have to inform you about in a very gentle way, because you know how sensitive YouTube is to various harsh words. And here we have to speak about the life and death of the minister. But this definitely shows us Putin has problems. There is a serious panic inside the regime, and the purges are growing more and more serious. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see something similar happening to Putin, subscribe, we will talk about that on the channel sometime soon. And please share these videos if you share my opinion, and that's the easiest way to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine. According to the news, the Russian Minister of Transportation, Starovoit, was found dead in his car after he learned that he was fired by Putin. In Putin's order to fire this Minister of Transportation that was in this position for less than 1 year, there was no explanation. And all because, according to some leaked police reports, that minister was found dead on Saturday and was sacked on Monday, after he was already dead for 3 days or something. This obviously demonstrates Putin did not have any explanation and didn't feel the need to give one. Trust me, the level of anxiety and panic grows tremendously, especially with the reports that another one of the workers of the Ministry of Transportation stopped living during one of the meetings because of a heart problem. Once again, it's so difficult to adjust the language to YouTube, so it does not stop us from discussing this important tendency that resembles Stalin's purges. And it always happens when the regime experiences serious problems. Starovoit, the minister I have mentioned, was previously a governor of the Kursk region for 5 years, including the years of the beginning of the special military operation that somehow miraculously returned also back to Russia. During these 5 years of his political presence in Kursk region, he was given billions of rubles to protect the border, to develop some fortifications, and he didn't. The governor that was the governor of the Kursk region at the moment of invasion in August 2024, his name is Smirnov. He was fired and later arrested, and he was held accountable for this Ukrainian visit that still continues to the Kursk region. But it is pretty obvious that the one who served before him was also involved. Very likely that they tried to, speak negatively about each other to save their lives and their careers, but both failed dramatically. And you may say, wow, that's an example of how strong Putin is as this inside mafia leader, but no. Because with the very high probability, Putin was actually the one who made these governors, Starovoit and Smirnov, spend the money that the Kremlin directed for the fortifications, the protection of border, spend them on bribes and this corrupt returns to the Kremlin. Kremlin is mafia, and the way they use their state budget is something that people with the darkest fantasy cannot imagine. It is super typical. in Russia to give money to the regions and then to take this money back in various weird contracts and other stuff, not even letting these governors use them the way they want. And if you want to become a minister in Russia, it's pretty obvious you have to buy the place. Subscribe to witness the collapse of the Kremlin regime together. There are some very vivid and terminal symptoms. So, this governor of Kursk region, Smirnov, that was at the moment of invasion, is now in prison. And most likely he spoke a lot, he knew a lot, and then Starovoit, who was a former governor and then a year the Minister of Transportation, was feeling not good, understanding what awaits him, and all because, guys, I am almost sure it was Putin who gave those billions and then took those billions back. Okay, maybe they shared, but the majority of all budget money always returned back to the pockets of Putin and his close circle, because Russia is a country controlled fully by mafia. One of the reasons why so many Ukrainian businesses who were previously pretty apolitical were so much against Yanukovych. They were not that interested, in NATO integration or European Union before the start of the full-scale war, before some, ideological evolution. But they knew that all this Russian or Russia-funded people always look for looting, getting resources, and stealing budget money, because the Kremlin is the mother, the father of corruption. And I have also heard rumors that those problems with airports and literally collapsed work of airlines, hundreds, almost 1,000 cancelled flights, might be a reason for sacking of this minister too. But once again, it looks like he was sacked posthumously, which is only possible in Russia to cover up the event. But by the way, let me know, would you like a more detailed video about why this aviation collapse is so important, not just from the logistical point of view, but from the economic and most importantly from this Russian Federation dissolution potential, because Russia is super big and they desperately need the aviation connections, because otherwise they feel very, very distant from the Kremlin and literally nothing unites them apart from this serfdom and stealing of resources that Kremlin constantly practices. So, a minister of the transportation, Gun, one of the heads of the departments within that Ministry of Transportation, Gun, governor of Kursk region, imprisoned. And actually a lot of businessmen are now either go out of the windows, a very popular habit in the Russian Federation, or are arrested when trying to flee Russia. And guys, with all respect to, these fake images that Russia still likes to project and Donald Trump keeps repeating, it's so obvious that regime is under tremendous pressure and experiences more serious problems than during that really short and not very promising Prigozhin mutiny. So that's interesting, and let's watch how many more windows of opportunities, please forgive my sarcasm, will open for more of the Russian criminal politicians. The main window, you all know, is in the Kremlin. Please share these videos, that's important, because not enough people hear the truth directly from Ukraine, and I'm privileged whenever you give me ideas in the comments below, leave likes or subscribe. Check my latest video on the new channel where I share them weekly, and where I try to explain you more about the Russian mindset and why do they keep choosing dictators, be it Stalin or Putin, and dictators always practice something similar to what we have just discussed. So check the video I connected here and let me know what are the other topics you'd like to discuss on the channel. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channels, and helping me film, work, and write more. Hopefully some important updates coming soon. Check our merch shop, the link is in the description of this video, and also subscribe to my social media, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, Discord, and X. All the links also in the description of this video. But most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!